Hey, what is going on, you guys? Now, in today's video we're going to dive real deep into what expectations you need to have when it comes to losing weight in just in general. Now, I'm going to use principles from my program because I recently had damn. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Chris. In today's video, we're going to talk about expectations of weight loss using sustainable methods. Now, I'm making this video because I had quite a few of my clients recently come to me and go, Chris, I'm not losing weight like I thought I was going to lose. I'm not sure what's going on. My scale's staying the same from this week or what have you. And so we're going to dive into why that happens, how it could happen to you, and how it happens inside, outside the program, and to kind of maybe settle some of your worries that you might be experiencing, whether you're in my program or not. And now, is it just my program this happens with? No, this is why most people never lose weight and keep it off, is they don't understand the principles that I'm going to be teaching you in this video. So please make sure you stick it through to the end so you get the entire context of the video. I don't care about necessarily the subscriber count and all these other things that some people might worry about. I just want to make sure you get the full context, because I can tell you most people quit around the time where things start going in my program, how it's set up, and just really, really would hate for that to be you. Now, I also want to apologize. I might cough a little bit in this thing. I have a lingering cough for whatever reason, and so if I do, sorry. Okay. Now, before I dive into this stuff, before I go into the slides, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Chris. I run an online fitness business called the Trailblazer Fitness Academy, where I teach people how to lose weight and keep it off long-term using sustainable methods. And so my entire program is built upon helping busy people lose weight and keep it off long-term. And the majority of my clients have roughly 50 pounds to lose, give or take a little bit. So we're going to use that as an anecdote in this sort of program as an example. Okay. So let's say you're somebody starting out right now and you're in my program. Okay. We have in my nutrition program, we have 4 phases that you go through. Each phase has a distinct goal and that we're trying to reach. So as an example, phase 1's main goal is to just work on consistency. There's nothing special about it, promise. Phase 2 is then the restoration phase, where we're getting rid of fat. Getting rid of inflammation. Phase 3 is the fat loss phase, where we get rid of your fat. And then phase 4 is maintenance. Okay, phase 4 is maintenance. And by the way, the numbers I'm going to share with you are incredibly normal numbers. They're nothing breathtaking. They're nothing outside of the norm. There's nothing nuts that we're doing here. I promise. These are all just basic stuff. So you might be like, there's no way that happened to me. This is the average. Some people lose more than this. Some people lose slightly less. But the average is more of not even the average, more the median. It's more of like getting rid of the people that are on the extremes on both ends. This is typical results of what takes place in the program. So phase 1 is 4 weeks long, okay? And just like you, when you start a program, you probably lost a bunch of weight the first month, right? Bunch of weight. And then phase 2, my program is 2 weeks long. And typically in this one, we lose at the same trajectory as phase 1, meaning it's like in a straight line, right? And so if you lose 12 pounds in phase 1, which is 4 weeks, you lose 6 pounds in 2 weeks. Okay, very, very normal. And so in the first 6 weeks, somebody being down 18 pounds is not outside the realm of possibility. It's not breaking records. It's not, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. Very, very normal, very typical, nothing crazy about that. Okay, but then in phase 3, here's what starts happening. I should say when they get to phase 3, they're like, oh my gosh, if I have 50 pounds to lose, I'll lose it in the next 11 weeks because I've been losing on average 3 pounds per week. And why wouldn't I continue that at that trajectory? That would just logically, if we're not really sure how to play the game, and or if we start learning how to play the game, we still have this expectation, right? Well, what happens when it starts slowing down? And when it's not moving, and when you extrapolate the weight out, it's going to take a heck of a lot longer. Then what happens? You start saying things like, oh, this isn't working. My body hates me. Or some people say, probably more people than want to admit, I should just do phase 1 stuff again. I was losing so much more then. It was so much better. I wish I could just go back and do that. Chris, why can't I just go back to phase 1 stuff? It was so awesome. Because when we shoot this bad boy out, like extrapolate the line, it's going to take a heck of a lot longer than our expectation is. It must mean like something's broken, or like phase 3's different. It's harder, and that's why. And I'm just not motivated because the scale is not moving as much. I'm here to tell you, at least in my program, it's not how it works, and likely what's not working for you either. Here's likely what's happening. In the beginning, in phase one, very normal to be around a 300 calorie deficit in my program. Some people a little bit more, some people a little bit less. Somewhere in there, though, is typical what I'd put somebody at in phase one. Now, if you're not familiar with what a calorie deficit is, you're going to see a video pop up, a little link pop up somewhere in here. That's a video on calorie deficit. You should absolutely watch it as I dive into what a calorie deficit is so you understand. And if you don't know what a calorie deficit is, you don't understand how fat loss works and weight loss, and your life's going to be way harder. And so I hope in that video, I've been able to explain it good enough for you to be able to understand what that is. So yeah, because that's the key. If you don't understand that, all of this stuff feels like it's magic and like I'm pulling stuff out of thin air. Okay, I promise you, it's not that. So cool, 300 calorie deficit. And so when you do the math, in 30 days, you only actually lose 2.5 pounds of fat, because every day we dig a 300 calorie deficit hole. In 30 days, you divide that number by 3,500, it comes out to be 2.5. Okay, so that's phase one. So you're down 2.5 pounds of fat and 9.5 pounds of other stuff, right? Because if you only lost 2.5 pounds of fat, you would have to lose weight from something else, or something has to leave your body to have 12 pounds left over, right? Like, this just makes sense. What are those 9.5 pounds of stuff? Water, poop, pee, food, inflammation, muscle, if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. Okay, not in my program, we don't lose muscle, but could be those. Could be extra sugar in your body, subcutaneous water, these sort of things. Absolutely could be the case. Very normal, nothing crazy. Phase two, typically we keep the same targets, okay? So, or sometimes we even go up, so they even lose less, right? But they still lose 6 pounds on average in 2 weeks. So there's still the 300 calorie deficit, or we maybe increase their food, increase their steps, so they're burning more a little bit, whatever, right? They're roughly the same. So in 14 days, they're down 1.2 pounds of fat, but they're down 6 pounds overall. Where those 6 pounds come from? Inflammation. Because the goal of phase two is to get rid of foods that cause inflammation. And so in phase one, we're getting rid of a lot of foods like that are obvious ones, right? Cookies, donuts, beer, these sort of things, except in refeed days, okay? But then in phase two, we get rid of all of that stuff for 2 weeks. So if you're like, I was contemplating on doing your program, but you said I can't have XYZ for 2 weeks, get over it. It's freaking 2 weeks. You need the discipline. You need the discipline to say no for something for 2 weeks, okay? You can do it, I promise. 4.8 pounds of other stuff, which is the inflammation, right? And so in phase one, we've gotten rid of excess water that's been sitting in your body. The more weight you lose from the lower amount of calorie deficit, the scarier it is. So if you only lose, let's say some people even lose more than that. Say somebody, like I have a client who lost 20 pounds in the first month, right? 300 calorie deficit, she's still at 2.5 pounds of fat, which means she had 17.5 pounds of other stuff in her that's just sitting there. That's like damaging her body. Extra water around her joints and her stomach, and plaque and pee and poop sitting in her bowel. Like, that's not good. Like, although it's celebrated that she's losing weight because that's phenomenal, it's not good. It's not like something to be like, whoa, I did so awesome. It's like, man, my body was holding on to all this shit, literal shit, and bad stuff and food in my gut for so long. What sort of damage is that doing to me? Fun fact, quite a bit. 6 pounds of, in phase two, we're getting rid of the rest of the inflammation. That food list is only anti-inflammatory foods. So when you start seeing weight come off fast, it's because we're getting rid of inflammation around your stomach, your gut, your joints, all that good stuff, okay? And so in phase three, if you see your weight going down kind of slower, what could it be? Fat. It's the only thing that's left is fat, because we've gotten rid of all of the inflammation here. You're eating in a deeper calorie deficit, because that's what we do in phase three. So you're not getting extra weight from food, and you're eating less food. Because before, right, before the program, or right now, if you're not starting a fitness program, or maybe you're in weight gaining mode, and you're not sure why, or whatever it might be, you're gaining your food from not good at all to decent, let's say from 0 to 1, that's exponentially better. That's so much better. From 1 to 2, you're 2.5 times better now. Now from 2 to 3, not that much better. It's better, but it's not 2.5. It's 50%. It's not that much. So we don't have any of the excess garbage that's been sitting in your stomach and large intestine, small intestine, in your skin that you would typically, that you've already lost. So the only thing that we're losing right now is fat. Pretty bomb. And in phase 3, a typical calorie deficit is between 500 and 800 calories. So you're actually losing fat faster per week than you were in phase 1 and phase 2. Because they're 300 calories on average, right? Now we're at 500 or 800 calorie deficit. And by the way, this is true if you do it a different way. If you were to start with a big calorie deficit of 800 calories, there, just extrapolate the numbers being the same. And when you get rid of all of inflammation, all the extra water, and all the extra poop and pee and all that stuff from eating too much food, you still run into the same thing. Is eventually you just start losing fat. And that's it. Pray to God, unless you're not eating enough protein and you're using muscle too. Which is 2 times faster, like I said. And so when you see this thing going down, not as slow, recognize that if it were to go as fast here, you would have to have all of this stuff still on you. More of it. And you won't, because you've already gotten rid of all of it. And if you're eating enough protein, you're not losing muscle. So every single pound that you're getting rid of is straight this. Every single one. And if I had to guess, I could be wrong. Comment below if I'm wrong. 2 options, 1 or 2. Option 1 is that you could have no idea what your body looks like. None at all. But whatever weight you want would show up on the scale, and there's no way for you to look. So there's no mirrors, there's no tricks, there's no nothing. Every time, but you would have, I have a magic wand that I can make you whatever weight you want. Versus you having the body that you want, what it looks like, but not knowing the weight of it. Never finding out. There's no way you could figure it out. Every time somebody even tries to, or you try to cheat the system, it literally goes blank. You got amnesia. You don't remember. Which would you rather have? Probably the one that the body looks awesome, right? And not an arbitrary number that has no context of what it's actually made of. Because if it was whatever number, what if I was like, cool, you're 100% fat then? No muscle. What then? Well, no, I don't want that. Well, of course you don't. But yeah, the body you wanted, and it looked the way you wanted to, likely it'd be at a low body fat percentage. Likely it'd be healthy. Likely it would be fat that you would get rid of, not muscle, right? And so recognize that at some point in my program, it's around the 6-week mark. Some plans maybe sooner. If you just went phase 2 food right away, it'd be a lot sooner, but it's harder to go from not good to phase 2, right? Because exponentially hard to go from 0 to 1. It's already 100% hard to go from 1 to 2. So can you imagine how much more challenging? And not that phase 2 foods are nuts. There's nothing crazy about it. It's just foods that don't cause inflammation. Likely the majority of the food that you eat is on that list. So you're probably going to be fine. Okay. But the gap is big. It's a major gap. And so you would lose, if you did it that way, you'd lose fat, or not fat. You'd lose fat at the same exact rate. You would lose weight maybe faster. But you're going to hit a wall nonetheless. And then what's left to lose is just fat. And then what happens though if your scale goes up? What if you're like, well, cool, Chris, I'm down for it. Okay, I'm with you. That makes so much sense. But then why is my weight staying the same? Why is my weight staying the same? freaking great question. Okay, from one day to the next, 500 calories. When you divide that number by 9, because that's how many calories in 1 gram of fat, it comes out to 45 grams. 45 grams. How much is 45 grams? Look at a stick of gum. A stick of gum is 5. It's 9 grams of gum, 9 sticks of gum. Not volume, but weight. That's how much fat you lose every day at 500 calorie deficit, which is significant. That's a good one. That's a good way to be. Okay. At 800 calorie deficit, you're at 72, give or take. Did I do that math in my head? 9 divided by 7. No, it's obviously a repeating number, 77. Okay. So cool, 77. That's 13, 14 pieces of gum, 15 pieces of gum. There we go. 15. Still not a lot. And you might be like, well, how can I go faster? I promise you, 1, you likely can't. And 2, you don't want to. It hurts. It's not fun. It's painful. The only time I give anybody over 1,000 calorie deficit or 800 calorie deficit is if it's life or death. If they don't lose weight now, they're going to be on meds. They're going to have to get chopped up, whatever. So that's when I start doing something like that. But for most people, that 50 pounds to lose, no, we don't do it. And most people can't even get to 800 calories because it's so challenging. And not because you don't get to eat enough food, because you'll be eating okay. It's just that you have to do so much more activity, and the people I work with are really busy. So 800 calories for some people is really challenging to even get to. And so we just push it out. We just go, cool, it's going to take longer, but that's okay. If here's a fun way to think about it. If you're considering trying to lose a large amount of weight, trying to join my program, you might, you just said it's going to take a long time. I don't know if I want to do that. Like, okay, fair. When was the last time you were 50 pounds lighter than you are right now? Ask yourself that. If you have 50 pounds to lose, if you're I don't know. I'm not going to give numbers. Okay. But like, you have 50 pounds to lose. Just give yourself that question. Yes or no. Okay. Cool. When was the last time you were under 50 pounds? You had 50, you were at 50 pounds lower than where you are right now. For the majority of people I talk to, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30 years, so many years. I'm like, all right, well, for the next 12 months, you spent the next 12 months focusing on losing those 50 pounds in order to show you not only how to lose it, because by the way, at the trajectory of 500 calories, it would take you 32 weeks, which is when you put the entire thing into itself, it's 38 weeks. And that also doesn't include, hey, that means in the next 12 months too, vacations, holidays, weekends, messing up, you have plenty of time to lose the 50 pounds and learning how to keep it off, which is phase 4. So I said, cool, in the next 12 months, if I were to show you how to lose weight and keep it off long term to get to a weight you haven't been in the last 10 years, would you be willing to trade the next 12 months to do that? And somebody would be like, well, I don't know. I'm like, well, how long have you been trying? Years. Okay, well, if I said in the next 12 months you would do it, if you followed the process I have for you, if you just followed what I said and not do anything crazy, I'm not going to starve you, not going to stuff you, not going to make you do tons of exercise, not going to make you sit out, miss holidays and any of that stuff. I were to show you that, would you be willing to follow it and guarantee you're going to get the results? Probably worth it, right? I would agree. And so, but most people though, they want to lose it fast. And a year of losing it versus never reaching it, or trying for 10 years and still not doing it, or not being there in 20 years, it's probably worth the trade. So if that's you and you're somebody who wants to do this thing and wants to lose weight and keep it off long term, like all the people behind me and all the clients I'm working with right now who are absolutely crushing it, all you got to do is click the link down below in the description where we're going to go over the process, go over what you need help with, and see if I can help you out. If I can help you out, it'd be such a blessing for me because I'm not good at many things. I am exceptional at this. And if it doesn't make sense, or we find that it's not in the cards, or it's monetarily, it's just not quite fitting your budget, hey, absolutely fine. I'll send you a bunch of free trainings. And if there's something out there that's a better solution for you, I will point you in the right direction. I want to see you crush it. If it's with me, great. If it's not, I'm absolutely fine with that too, as long as we're able to serve you. With that being said, have a phenomenal day. If you like this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe. It helps other people see the content that I got in here. And you can look at my past videos. I've got tons of them on different exercise movements if you're unsure how to do them, different nutrition concepts, mental concepts, all these sort of things that I use with my clients to give them results. But if you want the fast shortcut way to getting results, and I should say the only true shortcut to getting results is mentorship. There's no cheats, there's no hacks, there's no nothing. It is mentorship, getting rid of all the possibilities of what you should do and telling you what you need to do. That being said, have a phenomenal day. Kick some butt, take some rings. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.